But let me just bring this one in so that we don't lose that train of thought. I hope you also hold yours.
Good.
The reply, which you talked about.
Yes.
Which was signed by, the reply came from the Ministry of Interior.
Yes.
Signed by SD Tabgun, who is a director and secretary in that ministry.
Tabgun was actually the secretary that took over at Dr. R.A. Atahiru that resigned.
In the Ministry of
Interior. So
Tabgun
took over
exactly.
from
That's the second secretary now.
Okay.
And Tabgun was the chairman of that committee that was set up, because I see his name as number one as chairman.
Exactly.
Okay, but he also writes this letter in reply to the one by the CG.
Okay.
And he says, well, I write to acknowledge your letter. He referenced the dated 9th September 2013 on the above subject matter. Expresses the board's regret as a major stakeholder. He says, you were not consulted prior to the publication. Be rest assured that useful lessons have been learned, and we shall do our very best to ensure that all stakeholders are accorded their due henceforth.
Useful lessons, please, can you read that? Useful lessons have been...
Yeah, and then he also says, so if he says they will be accorded their due henceforth, does this suggest that there might have been further correspondence informing the CG, the immigration boss, of the entire development? Because in paragraph 3, he also says, accordingly, we wish to state that at the closure of the portal on 27th October 2013, the applications will be processed, and those that fall within the purview of the NIS will be accordingly forwarded for further action. Can we say this wasn't done to immigration?
Well, so I don't want to speak as if I'm an internal person.
Think?
Exactly, fine. But you see, we from this content, the reply actually does not hold any water to me.
Why do you say so?
Yes, because if you look at the language being used, they actually did not like say, okay, this is the reasons why you were not being informed, rather, but they said, okay, we will make sure that everything that's supposed to be done right is being done right. I don't know if I'm accusing you of not actually involving in what we're supposed to work together, but now all you don't worry, I'll take. In fact, everything will be done. This is unprofessional. Anyway, this is not what we should be looking at this moment. You see, in the first place, do Nigerian applicants supposed to pay money for a recruitment?
Sorry, before you come to that, I mean, this documents now, we do hope that, because since the presidency has set up a committee to investigate all of these matters, we imagine they will have access to all of this. I mean, their government, they have access to so many things. So this should also play key roles in their investigation.
Exactly. That is what we're saying. In fact, without prejudice to the committees, in fact, I so much respect the position of the president. For one thing, he actually jumped into the issue, or he took up the issue immediately and tried to calm down the nerves, especially sympathize with the families and try to see how they can at least console them. But notwithstanding, I don't want to pay attention to, okay, all the details of giving the families this appointment and all these things. But let us look at the issues as it may. If really Nigerian youths that actually died on this, assuming they did not die, would they be given any chance, or would their family member be given any chance?
So let me also bring this part in before your question. You did say, were they even supposed to have been charged any money for this?
Yes, good.
We'll come to that. But there was this interview, I think it was in This Day, or was it BBC News Day, where the Minister of Interior was quoted to have said, well, he was not going to resign until an investigation is concluded. What do you think about it? Because now there's an investigation.
You see, this is the height of insensitivity from a leader, somebody like him. To be very honest to him, I know that in one area, the first statement the first public statement he made during after the incident was like, it was the fault of those that died. In fact, I was confused. Could this come out from somebody a public office holder like him? Why? A dead person that is not alive to defend himself, you're telling is his own fault? It's highly insensitive. But all the same, what this man should understand, from what happened to all that, you see, we know so many things went wrong. Even from the process which conceived the whole idea, it was wrong. Bringing in the wrong consultant, wrong people to do the job in the first place.
Let me bring in the part then, because they released a statement, and it was in 2013 actually, and this statement was published on the 8th of November 2013.
Yes.
And he says, and that was by his media, special assistant on media, Mr. George Odo, who said that the fee was charged by the consulting firm handling the recruitment exercise for administrative purposes.
Okay, that tells us that probably the 2014 budget, because the exercise is done in 2014, right? Maybe 2014 budget of the Nigerian Immigration Services does not actually accommodate this exercise, because talking about administrative charges or using it for administrative purpose, meaning there's no money meant for that. Now, in that case, I ask, is it okay, is it good for one to do what you feel like doing and leave what the law says? Is there any place in provision of the law that says you must collect money? And who are these consultants?
He spoke further and said the fee is charged by the consulting firm to defray cost of accessing the website to fill forms. This is also intended to save the applicants the cost of traveling to Abuja to submit the application forms, as well as avoid other inherent risks, including unauthorized middlemen activities and other abuses.
This is an insult to our intellectual disposition, for God's sake. Why would you tell me that this 1,000 is meant to cover all this cost? On what ground? In the first place, like I said, the law does not permit that. So a Nigerian citizen is entitled to at least an employment after graduating from school.
So, well, are you, I'm sorry to bother you, but yes, are you aware that some of the ministries and departments of government have been complaining underfunded?
Then so it is the common man on the streets that will be funding the government for him to get a job. Let me speak to you like a common man on the street. No, this is not right, for God's sake. Look, we understand. The consultants are after what? Is it not business-oriented people? Let's look into the consultant. Find out, are they even qualified to be the consultant of this exercise? That is another question. Probably that would have given them the sense of responsibility, the sense of understanding that, look, we are not supposed to charge. Because it is a paramilitary, or let me say it's a paramilitary regimented area or agency, whereby it must, by the law, you must have been qualified to recruit security. Maybe you have a security background, and all those conditions are there. So who are these consultants in the first place?
So then, having done all of this, what the federal government has said, they put up an investigative body, they canceled that process, they'll conduct fresh ones. What do you expect them to do?
Very good, very good. You see, in one of the letters, in one of the documents there, there's even a recommendation. When there was a meeting that was held prior to this, to the meeting was for the members of the board, including the representative of the consultants. 3 people attended the meeting. And the representative of the Nigerian Immigration Services actually made to meet the Controller General, okay, in their position. And he also made observations and recommendations. In his observations, he observed that, in the first place, there shouldn't have been any need for any cost. They also condemn that. I was shocked when I saw that.
But they've been charging Nigerians seeking jobs in all of these agencies before now, haven't they?
Fine. You're bringing us back to the issue that actually sent the former lady that was there, which it was something. Why did she go? But all the same, that's a story for another day.
But it's connected, isn't it?
Yes. Because this exercise started long even before that time. This is the same recruitment that should have taken place there. Exactly.
Talking about people being charged for jobs, not being charged, but they buy scratch cards for the Army, Navy, and Air Force recruitment. They buy scratch cards.
Yes.
Is that not considered a charge?
It's still the same we're talking about here. That is the point.
So this is not the first time Nigeria...
No, it's not about the first time. Is there a provision of the law that permits that? This is what we should be talking about here. So if really there's no... Why should I do that? This is questions, we need answers for this. Is it because now the ICT has given an opportunity for people, for those related, for those who have people in the government, those who have people in the offices that who need contracts, and before you know it, you start skimming your way? Look for what is wrong in using the ICT, as we all know, to even do this exercise in the first place? Because this is one of the recommendations from even the Nigerian Immigration Services itself. Go through this document. I was shocked. So if the administrative point of the Nigerian Immigration Service will even observe that. They tell the board that if really this exercise take place, the screening can be done even based on the, through the ICT to reduce all these risks involved. And not even that, it can be done in batches.